fire her, fine, or leave it. Oh my god. Why does this even have to happen now? It's on my race mechanics. I don't really want to drop my chairman happiness, but I also can't really afford having to search for a new race mechanic now. We don't have the money. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode on Motorsport Manager with me, Spacefish, and well, welcome back to the finish screen of the last race, the finish screen of the Tandela GP then. In the last episode, we went into this race not really expecting much, because, well, unfortunately, Hong is still injured, taking away a major bit of his capability currently. And, well, that is kind of just hampering us, and while we are really trying to hold on to dear life as we're getting closer and closer to being fired from our own team on the basis of getting close of missing the golds, we only came out at 15th and 16th, and it wasn't even entirely really due to Hong underperforming. It was also a bit due to us running out of fuel for about, like, 5 seconds at the end of the race. So, it was a great one, I assure you. I cannot believe that happened again, but we are in 15th and 16th spot coming off of that race, which you would think, for trying to hit 8th overall spot, wouldn't be that terrible. But if you do look at the standings then, you can see that, well, we lost out, because all the teams that were below us actually performed better. I don't know who at the end ended up coming in below us, or where we came in general in terms of points. So you had Dragon Race, Team Octane. So it was like all these. Okay, so basically we ended in right between Dragon Race team, and then like some of them had just the crash, and that was basically it. I mean, the teams that weren't below us in terms of the standings really kind of ZRT right here. You know, 8th and 10th spot. If you look at the standings, I think those are those are the guys that were below us. So they did an incredible race. We did a terrible race. It's not good. It's not great. But today then, we are going to move on from that terrible race. Next one, Hong is going to be recovered. We've got a new engine that I think just finished development before the before the start of this race, that we're going to try and get ready for the next one. And we're just going to push and try our best to get the car even better for the next race. I guess with all these things now coming up, we're going to have to consider really kind of just pushing parts a little further than we were prepared to, just in order to try and squeeze a little bit more out of this championship and not lose our seat, which is going to hurt us in the long run, probably in the next season for like car development, because we're going to spend more money now. It's going to be a bit painful. We're going to have to see. I have painted my bedroom the same colours as your car. We did see that one previously, I think, but nothing about us from the race. So we'll have to see here how we do things. And also, I think we need to do a little budget recap here in just a second to kind of assess just how much we can really afford pushing the car further and actually developing even more new parts. You know, I'm kind of a bit skeptical. I really don't want to do this, but I think we've got no other choice right now. So, I mean, first things first, you can see Hong still has this dodgy neck. I don't see here where it ends. You know, some things improved somewhat and all, which is beautiful. No extra levels just yet. Overtaking is going to happen soon for him. You know, smoothness, consistency, adaptability would be great too, but well, not yet. And you can see here, I guess, overtaking, braking, and cornering are stats that are probably now reinforced by the fact that we do have a racetrack on our premises, so that's something to keep in mind. Morale is at the max, which is beautiful, and you know, Andre's morale is seemingly going up a bit too, which is great, as Hong's driver form is quite decent. But happiness of our chairman is going down, marketability is a tad bit below, and this all is quite troubling indeed. That said, you can see here we're down to 3.8 million, so we don't really have much of a budget surplus to even throw at the car, which is a big issue for us. Let's go through this and see just how many races remain. I think it should be like 3 at this point, so we would maybe have like 800 grand to spare or something. Let us look at the calendar. First things first. We've got 3, so given that every race, well, actually, we've got like 600k to spend. That's incredibly low. We are not going to take an interview. And crash heavy even. I mean, you've got to imagine so many people crashed out of that race. It could have gone way, 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 way worse. Not happy. Not happy at all. So, let's see. First things first, in terms of part development, right? What do we have going on here for the next races? We do have top speed for Milan. We did develop a new engine, so that's nice. We've got deceleration right there. Top speed for Black Sea and acceleration here. And acceleration and top speed there. So the only thing that would really be... Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be able to afford that. The only thing that would be an option here would be a gearbox, where we do have 3 slots now due to the previous developments. Of course, you could do something like... I guess acceleration 25 to max and build time plus 2 days, 15 to max plus 20, and then acceleration plus 40, reliability minus 20, which would end us up with a very nice stat gearbox, but it's 1.25 mil, which we don't have. And we can't go below 0 at the end of the season. I mean, we don't really want to go bankrupt here either, so I guess we're just going to have to end things off here. So, let's see. What we do have to definitely do is swap through a bit the pit crew. We need somebody that can do tires and refuel and is at least somewhat relaxed. This person here will have to carry on because that person's still recovering. Then we've got one person for tires and fixing, which I guess, well, don't really have that many options currently, do we? I guess we take this person here, 10 and 11, but at least he's fully, you know, recovered. We do need somebody for front jack, which we should have someone for. I think it's this person here. And, you know, rear jack would be advantageous, and I do think we had a dedicated person that can do that. Maybe I'm mistaken on that one. No, this one here, I guess? It's not really that recovered, so... I guess this person we just swap through between. Okay, so that person has to recover. A lot of people have to recover, honestly. This is the only guy that we still have left that would be able... Oh, wait. He is actually our front jack, isn't he? I see. So let's go and swap him in for the front jack. And then we've got this person here that can do the rear jack instead. And that is fine. Cool, so that is the pit crew swapped through real quick. I mean, in terms of sponsors, oh, there's actually 2 slots coming up that we need to take care of. So that could inject a bit of extra development money for us. Let's see what offers we can get here. Got to swap back and forth here. Fixed payment. So, fixed pay per race, 300 grand. Does sound quite good to me. We've got 1.5 mil up front, which is really, I mean, a lot less for 11 races. If we would do 11 races with these guys, we're at 3.3 mil, so not an option for me. And then these guys, same deal. So let's go and accept these lads. 300k a race should be quite nice. Let's see how it's going to change our income per race. Maybe we need to fast forward there for a sec to find out. Then you've got the race bonus, so this one, I mean, we're not going to hit second or above anytime soon, so we're literally just going to pick the highest upfront payment sponsor, but we only have 2 out of 3 offers thus far, so we're going to wait another day or 2 for that one. That said, car improvement is finished. Now, we do technically have some stuff going on here for Andre currently, but we do have this engine, and I do want to try and get that one ready for use. So let's improve reliability. That should be 13 days before race time, which sounds very good to me, where it should be to 100%. We may get it all the way there, to be honest, just to make sure that we can kind of push through, and then we're going to do performance, but let's see about that. Let's continue on this. And no new sponsors just yet. Leaked information. It's a disaster. We caught Becky Kitagawa trying to sneak information out of the garage. She might have been going to leak it to some of the other teams. Oh no. Fire her, fine, or leave it. Oh my god. Why does this even have to happen now? It's on my race mechanics. I don't really want to drop my chairman happiness, but I also can't really afford having to search for a new race mechanic now. We don't have the money. We don't have the money whatsoever. Why'd you have to do some stuff like that? Like, come on, mate. I mean, we're not going to leave it, because I'd rather, you know, mess up the mechanic relationship a bit and, you know, then totally nuke my relationship with the chairman, but Jesus Christ. I guess it is what it is. We're going to have to do the fine. At least we get some money, I guess. Still not great. Still not great at all. You can see just how much that impacted his happiness. Hopefully we can at least deliver on the next few races then. Fingers crossed right there, I suppose. That said, I guess we can already get the performance work in here just in case, but we're going to keep going on this for the time being. And then we continue for now. Job security uneasy. Always great. It's getting better and better every day. There goes our last sponsorship offer. As you can see, the upfront payment is lower. And, you know, while I would love the bonus payment, we're never going to get to first spot anytime soon. So we're going to take these lads. 1.25 mil should be a nice boost. And I'm thinking we will develop another gearbox. Kinda don't have a choice, do we? We kinda don't have a choice. So let's go and do it. 25 to max, 40 minus 20 reliability, and 2 times days build time, acceleration 15 to max, and plus 20. Should be a very nice gearbox. It's going to be a bit of work actually getting that ready though. It's only going to be done 3 hours before this race, but we're going to work on it for the next race then, I suppose, and hopefully that'll give us another very, very crucial boost for the season, because I'm really worried right now. I'm really worried for my job. I mean, currently, where are our gearbox currently? Yeah, so I mean, it should get us a good bit of a boost, like maybe 20-ish% on the performance, which is quite nice. Plus, of course, we can always give these parts to Andre in the end, which, you know, boosts him, gets us more points on his side, hopefully. So, you know, got to take care of that. That said, Hong has recovered, which is beautiful. Dodgy neck is gone, so that's great, great, great news. I'm going to go and head on with this. Reliability work is going to be complete, and they're going to be swapping over to performance, which is beautiful. If you want us to do anything else in parts reliability, just say the word. Beautiful. So, in terms of this then, one day after race, so we're nearly going to get it to max performance, which means we're going to swap through engines in a sec, or actually, in fact, we could do it just now. So, let us take Hong, give him that engine. I love how he's still just content. I mean, honestly. The parts we've got fitted are looking a bit naff. Jesus Christ, mate. Oh, boy. Okay, but yeah. So that's that. Andre's getting this engine, and Hong's getting that one. And, you know, hopefully it helps Andre out too a bit. And we are going to go and continue on. That said, we also... Nope, we don't have to get anybody new into the scouting there. Could go and hire someone here, but honestly, I think we'd rather save the money currently. We're going to go on. I think we just got some Mainland Championship targets. Yeah. If you have not met your target at the end of the season, you'll be fired. No pressure. Thank you for reminding me. Is there a chance you could look into improving our driver lineup? Andre and Hong are okay, but everybody knows there are better drivers out there in the rest of the championship. If we're going to compete at the highest level, we need to make sure, yeah. So that is really something. I think at some point we will have to swap Andre through for someone else and get another star driver. It's just a tough one currently, because we kind of also lack the funding to get like 2 proper decent cars on the grid. And Hong, you know, he's developing, he's an upcoming talent. I would love to have someone that's already solid in terms of performance. And I mean, there's probably a good bit of people out there in the European racing series. You know, Falco here, for example. He's quite decent. For, like, some of these people would be an option. Not many, admittedly. On average, honestly, Hong is already better than a lot of the other drivers in this racing series, but Having someone solid in the future would be nice. That said, we've got a scouting thingy done. So let's just head on scouting through Asia Pacific, I guess. And we're going to go continue right on with a race coming up, I guess. Well, scouting report finished. We're going to take care of that in a sec. First things first, let that random race run through. Beautiful. And then we just pick another random driver from the Asia Pacific Super Cup, and we go and move through towards traveling to Milan. That said, front wing development back for 2018. I don't think that is going to happen. We're definitely going to try and vote against that. Would be freaking expensive for us, honestly. So let's see. Gearbox build is finished, which is beautiful. Can't use it with only 20% reliability, evidently, but we are going to get it on the list for after this performance work here for the engine is complete. So let's already put it on there to make sure we don't forget, and we're going to keep the staff allocated to the performance work on the engine. As you can see, 163, it does say 164 here, which is weird, but already solid amounts of performance on that engine. So you know, should hopefully boost us. And, you know, Andre gets 40 points more performance as well, which is like a 40% performance increase for him, plus 22% in reliability on top, which is beautiful. I'm really liking that. Hopefully, going to help us out in this Milan race, where the engines, in the end, are going to be quite important. With that said, we are already here, set to get ourselves into the race. Let us go and get over to Milan and get a first little training session done, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to get a semi-decent result. The thing is, though, with these practices, I think we've learned by now, we can literally not get even a remote idea of our in-race performance from the practices. I cannot tell you why. I really can't. But somehow we are always in like the top 5 in the practices at this point, and we are always in like the bottom 10 in the race. This literally seems to be the rule at this point. So, no clue. I did not remember to look at the weather report for Milan, which is a bit of an issue. It is apparently currently raining, and it's not looking like it's going to get any better soon, so I guess we're going to grab some rain tyre knowledge for the time being. These lads are going to be driving for us. We are going to go and have a look at setup in general. I think we are not going to want that much of a wing, but we're maybe going to start with 25.5 and 15.5. The curves that we have, I mean, there's a lot of long, fast curves and only very few slow ones, so I'm going to kind of go a bit towards understeer. And for speed balance, I think a little longer, I guess, due to the long straights and all. Let's try something like that for the time being. I mean, we're going to have to go for intermediates. That makes the most sense. And then we are going to mirror this setup for Hong for the time being. And we're just going to see what our drivers feel about this. So, doot. May even require more of a hard suspension. But we're going to start with 69, just see how well it does for them. Bit of a longer gear ratio. Intermediate tyres, confirm. Continue. Let's take the practice. Let's get going. And send them out as is, pretty much. Yep. Cool. Send out. And send out. There they go. Gonna go max attack and overtake for both of them. And Hong's form is low. Gomez's form is low. What a great way to start onto the weekend, isn't it? Well, let's see how that one develops, I guess. They can get going. Just kind of practice a bit. Hong's form is already going down further, which is beautiful. So, you know, we're all set for a beautiful, great race that is absolutely going to be a terrible mess for us. I am freaking already annoyed. Anyways, let's go and have them have their out lap, and then they can go and have a quick flying lap. Loving the handling. That's a good first sign. We're going to bring them both in. We're not going to do any hot laps. We are going to put them out towards the end, as per usual. Especially since the track is drying off, we may as well do those on, well, slicks instead of wet tyres instead, I suppose. Oopsies. Did kind of speed up a bit too much there. Well, let's go and see what they think about the setup. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. I would say I was quite spot on with that prediction. I mean, we can just keep it going like that then, I guess. And we're literally just going to get them a 4-lap stint of intermediates, maybe, and get like some decent amount of intermediate knowledge, and then once it gets a little drier, we'll just get them out with slicks, and, you know, wow, it's even better for Hong, oh my god. Well, beautiful. I mean, that gets us more time to just kind of gather knowledge, I suppose. We're literally just going to do this for them. Set them both up for attack. And then, you know, happy driving, I guess. Maybe at least they can kind of find their form a bit. Would be beautiful. There's already race trim level 1. And we're just kind of going to monitor the water on the track a bit. I think at like 5 or 4 minutes left, we'll kind of go get them in and set up level unlocked. Beautiful. But like, you know, at that level, we will kind of just go get them in, swap to the dry tires, to slicks, and yeah, just get going like that. Now, this is going to be their first proper set time, and maybe it's not all too bad, because at least we get a somewhat comparator to the rest of the grid, because we're driving on similar tires, which is nice. So let's see what they managed to achieve. I mean, you've got to imagine they do have quite the full tank too here. But Hong in the 3rd spot, Gomez 9th, so, you know, the performance difference of both cars and drivers is manifesting itself a bit more, which is certainly interesting. And Hong is getting the chance to up his form a bit, which should be nice, I hope. Because honestly, it was a bit low right there. That said, we are at race trim level 2. Now the question kind of becomes, do we want to gather some knowledge for the... yes, I think we're going to go gather some knowledge for slicks now as well. Just so we've got that kind of taken care of somewhat as well. We do have some time set on these tires at the very least, so that's great. We do certainly want some knowledge on those soft tires too. So 8 to 10 estimated laps, which I think is quite... Wait, on Hong, 8 to 10 estimated laps. How's that possible? That's new, is it? Interesting. I mean, I'll take it. Is Gomez going to be 1 lap more than, or has he just learned and his tires last longer now? No, it's still 1 lap more. Okay. Well, I think, as far as I recall, Milan was always a bit of a shorter race, like 21 laps or something. We'll see when we get to it. We'll get the soft tyre knowledge anyways and just kind of go through like that. Now, I guess I selected the 2-lap stint, which is totally fine. I mean, you know, 4 laps of fuel, so they're going to have 1 out lap, 2 laps, and by the time they're out of fuel, you know, the time's probably going to run out anyway, so totally fine in my mind. The water is pretty much gone on the track, so, you know, now the grip levels are rising, which should hopefully allow us to get some decent times in too. Hong's form is still on the way up, which is beautiful. He can just practice some more, get himself in shape, and hopefully be a little more useful in the race. Gomez, on the other hand side, not as much, so we'll have to see, but at least it's not falling off like crazy just yet. So, let's see. I mean, the soft tyres, we're going to evidently have some crazy increases in speed. Well, we're 1st and 2nd by a long while now, but the AIs are actually swapping to soft tier 2, so let's see what they can achieve. That said, it seems it's raining again, so they probably are not going to be achieving much of anything, I guess. Well, race trim is at level 3, so that's beautiful. They came in, I suppose, due to low fuel, which is totally fine. We're just going to sit out the last few seconds of the session. But there we go. So, I guess no comparative time on softs for us. In terms of intermediates, I mean, you know, I would say that we got a fairly comparable time of, like, 9th spot for Andre and 3rd spot for Hong, which is quite crazy. You know, we'll have to see how much it manifests in the race. I don't want to be too overly hopeful with this stuff anymore, because I think we've all learned at this point in time that it really isn't too justified to be overly optimistic with this stuff anymore. So let's just see and hopefully be positively surprised in the race with the new engines and with Hong actually being healthy again, and hopefully let's somehow have a good race. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. For today, I'm going to end it off right here, and I'm going to be back with you the next time then with the race, and it's going to be quite the crucial one because we really need to start performing. So please keep your fingers crossed for me, and hopefully that's going to go well. for today. This has been it. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. As usual, if you did, please make sure to smash that like button right down below for the YouTube algorithm. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider subscribing right down below, as well as hitting that bell icon in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.